This video was brought to you by Brilliant. Today, Kamala Harris builds momentum after debating Donald Trump, protesters storm Mexico's Senate over judicial reform, and the ICC's prosecutor seeks urgent arrest warrants for Israeli and Hamas leaders. From TLDR News, this is your daily briefing for Wednesday the 11th of September, 2024. Yesterday, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump faced each other in their first presidential debate. The debate comes after Joe Biden's withdrawal from the race, as well as a stagnation in Harris's momentum against Trump. However, that may change following Harris's strong debate performance. In the debate, Harris and Trump talked about the economy, abortion, immigration, January 6th, Afghanistan, among other issues. For instance, Harris talked about how Trump's tariff plan would destroy the American economy, while Trump countered that his tariffs will be paid for by foreign governments. On the abortion front, Trump talked about how everyone wanted Roe v. Wade to be overturned, and that leaving it to the states was the preferred option, while Harris affirmed that she would sign Roe v. Wade protections into federal law if passed by Congress. Trump also rebuffed his own running mate, J.D. Vance, by refusing to state that he would veto a national abortion ban, deflecting the question by stating that a bill would never come to his desk. On immigration, Trump hammered Harris on Biden's policies, while Harris countered that Trump killed a bipartisan immigration bill earlier in the year. Also during the segment, Trump brought up the false and debunked story about immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, eating people's cats and dogs, something that the moderator pushed back on, and Harris retorting, "Talk about extreme." Trump also sought to distance himself from the events of January 6th, stating that Nancy Pelosi was responsible for security, and also walked back his recent comments when he admitted that he lost the 2020 election, falsely claiming yet again that he won. Meanwhile, Harris defended Biden's Afghanistan withdrawal, while Trump attacked it, saying that the Biden administration violated the deal that Trump had struck with the Taliban. Overall, debate viewers seem to view Harris as the resounding winner, with 63% of voters saying she'd won, compared to 37% for Trump, according to a CNN post-debate poll. Harris's favorability also ticked up from 39% pre-debate to 45% post-debate among viewers, while Trump went down from 41% to 39%. So this was a near complete reversal of the Biden-Trump debate in June, which viewers overwhelmingly said Trump won. Harris seemed to outperform expectations, while Trump was the clear loser, with Republican Senator and Trump supporter Lindsey Graham saying that it was a disaster for Trump. Now, Trump made the unusual decision of going to the post-debate spin room himself and claiming that it was his best debate, but suggested that he would refuse Harris's challenge of another debate, saying, "I have to think about it, but if you won the debate, I sort of think maybe I shouldn't do it. Why should I do another debate?" In another boost to Kamala Harris, after the debate, pop superstar Taylor Swift announced to her more than 280 million Instagram followers that she was backing the Harris Walls campaign. Ultimately though, while Harris may receive a post-debate bump in polling, it will likely continue to be a close race as we get closer and closer to Election Day. And for more US election coverage, check out our new Nebula original series, WTF USA. The link to the show and the trailer is in the description. There's more on the way, but remember to subscribe and ring the bell for more daily briefing tomorrow. Plus, if you want to support the channel like Yimmy, then consider signing up for the new TLDR Daily membership program for just $1.99. Next, Mexican lawmakers face significant unrest as protests erupted over a controversial judicial reform. Activists stormed the Senate building, breaking down doors and disrupting a session where the proposal for Mexicans to elect judges at all levels of government was being debated. The Senate's president evacuated the chamber to avoid confrontations with protesters, while dramatic scenes unfolded, with protesters clashing with security and waving the Mexican flag. And amidst this chaos, at least one injury was reported. Despite the turmoil, the proposal, championed by President AMLO, who has been long critical of Mexico's Supreme Court, was eventually passed by the Senate, with 86 votes in favor, 41 against, and no abstentions. AMLO argues that the reform is essential to combat judicial corruption and make the judiciary accountable to the public. If implemented, approximately 7,000 judges could face elections next year. Critics, including US Ambassador Ken Salazar, claimed that the reforms are a risk to democracy and an economic threat after AMLO confirmed that the changes are aimed at judges, ministers, and justices defending big foreign firms. And Salazar's critiques late last month even led to a diplomatic spat between the US and Mexico. Next up, the International Criminal Court's chief prosecutor, Karim Khan, has called on the court's judges to make a decision with the utmost urgency on his application for arrest warrants against the Israeli Prime Minister and Defense Minister and Hamas leaders. In a new court filing, Prosecutor Khan called for urgency in light of the worsening situation in Palestine and the continuation of the crimes set out in the original application back in May. Now, Khan is seeking arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, his Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, and Hamas leaders Yahya Sinwar and Mohammed Deif, citing reasonable grounds to believe that all have committed war crimes and crimes against humanity on and after October 7th last year. In this week's filing, Khan withdrew his request for a warrant against a third Hamas leader, Ismail Haniyeh, due to the assassination of Haniyeh in Tehran in July, an attack largely attributed to Israel. Khan added that the prosecutor is also gathering information into the reported death of Mohammed Deif, who the Israeli military claimed to have killed in Gaza. The ongoing delay in the ICC's approval or rejection of the prosecutor's request comes as Israel renews a diplomatic drive to get its allies, particularly European allies, to intervene on its behalf. The Financial Times cites a source saying that Israel is engaged in a huge diplomatic effort internationally to garner support to push back against the potential warrants. If the court did indeed issue the requested warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu and co., all 124 member states of the International Criminal Court, including all of Israel's European allies, would be obliged to arrest them should they set foot on their soil. Next, let's turn our attention to Europe, where a much-anticipated report written by former European Central Bank Governor Mario Draghi has sparked backlash from China. In his report, Draghi criticized China's so-called overcapacity and labeled the country a high-risk supplier of critical materials. He also suggested that implementing tariffs may be necessary to protect European industries from, quote, unfair competition. However, Draghi did caution against the systematic application of such measures, arguing that emulating the US strategy of excluding Chinese technology could impede the EU's green transition efforts. A spokesperson for the China Chamber of Commerce to the EU echoed this caution. In addition to his comments on China, though, the report goes into detail about Draghi's prognosis for the stagnant European economy and his proposed remedies. And if you want to find out more about what Draghi wrote, then you can check out the most recent video over on TLDR EU. It's linked in the description. And finally, in some uplifting news, Paris has set a new record, selling more Olympic and Paralympic tickets than ever before, with a combined 12 million tickets sold. That beats the previous record set by the London 2012 Games, which managed to sell just shy of 11 million tickets. The Paralympics, which ended last Sunday, were hailed as the new benchmark for the Paralympic Games from every point of view by the president of the International Paralympic Committee. With issues like these, it's often hard to come to the right conclusions. So if you want to improve your decision making, you'll want to check out Brilliant. Brilliant is where you learn by doing, with thousands of interactive lessons in maths, data analysis, programming, and AI. For instance, there's the Scientific Thinking course, which takes you on an interactive tour of our physical world. You'll engage with key scientific principles and theories, from simple machines like gears and pulleys to Einstein's special theory of relativity. It's not just a bunch of lectures either. You'll learn by doing, with hands-on lessons that will have you comparing circuits to understand voltage and current, playing snooker to learn the rules of collision, planning your itinerary for an intergalactic music festival on a space-time diagram, and more. That way, you'll build your natural intuition while gaining deep knowledge of scientific principles. Find out more and try everything Brilliant has to offer for a full 30 days by visiting brilliant.org/TLDR or by clicking the link in the description. That way, you'll also get 20% off an annual premium subscription. Thanks for your support, and thanks to Brilliant for sponsoring this video.